Aloha everybody, Chris Capone here from CC Creative, and me and my wife just got back from our honeymoon in Kauai. So I thought I'd show off some of the cool things that we brought back with us. Starting off with my favorite is Tiki. Check this guy out.
So this is a traditional Hawaiian Tiki god, Kane, and Kane is the god of life and everything that is associated with life. Water, sunlight, and the winds. He represented the god of procreation, and Kane was the creator and giver of life.
So I thought this was very symbolic of our trip, and you know, in the near future we might be starting to try to have kids. So I was hoping that this little deity would bring some good luck. And I really love the stylization of this Tiki.
So I'm thinking in the near future, I actually got myself a 3D scanner recently, and I've been looking for some objects to scan, and I'm thinking this guy would be really cool to scan and maybe 3D print.
And so this was our first time visiting Hawaii, and how could you come home without a Tiki? So this is definitely one of my favorite pickups that we got out there. All right, and next we're moving on to some magnets that we picked up. We always like to pick up some magnets from our travels to add to our fridge, just to kind of remind us, you know, on a daily in our kitchen where we've been and looking towards to new adventures. And one of our favorite things to try to find is a magnet that is actually in the shape of the place that we went,
with some call outs of the different places that we actually went to. So we stayed in Kapa, we flew in from Lihue, we were out in Poipu Beach, we visited Hanapepe, which is actually where they based the town of Stitch off of. We also played one of the best rounds of golf of our life in Princeville, and Hanalei Bay was a very cool town, and they had this awesome bay where there's like a pier that you could jump off, and some of these beaches up here in the north were awesome. It also states that Kauai is the Garden Island,
and we're from New Jersey, so the Garden State going to the Garden Island, we thought it was very fitting. And so this was definitely one of our favorite magnets. We also picked up this 3-pack of magnets, which
was actually in Ross. We visited a Ross out there, funnily enough, and they had Walmart and Costco, but this one had these wasubi, which for some reason in Hawaii, they really love Spam. And so they make wasubi, which is actually a sliver of Spam on top of rice. It's not up my alley, but I will say it's not bad. I would definitely eat it. But my wife, and she grew up eating it, so when she saw that out there, she had to try it.
And so when I was at the Ross, I also found this Leonardo Masters of the Universe collab. It was like 13 bucks for this. Did I need to buy this out there? Probably not. Could I leave it behind? No. I've actually been wanting to add this guy to my collection for a long time, so when I saw it out there for that price, I couldn't leave it. I know this guy has nothing to do with Hawaii, totally understand that, but this is just my own collector mindset taking over. And lastly, moving on to the magnet that I actually picked up, it was this sea turtle magnet that's made out of wood and hand painted.
And it says Kauai here on the bottom, and then on the back it says Aloha Wood Crafters. And so it's a local crafter who actually makes these and sold these at by Poipu Beach. And it says here on the back, which I thought was really sweet, let this hand-painted wood emblem from Hawaii remind you to keep aloha in your life.
And so out in Kauai and the rest of the islands of Hawaii, they really do live that aloha lifestyle. Everyone is really laid back. They love to hang loose. And so let me read you a definition of what the aloha lifestyle is. The Hawaiian aloha lifestyle embodies a way of life rooted in compassion, empathy, peace, and deep connection to nature and community, extending beyond a simple greeting. It's a philosophy of respect of life, embodying values like kindness, unity, patience, and humility. Living aloha involves fostering positive relationships, living in harmony with nature, and contributing to a resilient, cooperative society by practicing unconditional kindness and mutual respect. Now, that is a way to live. I hope to inspire the aloha lifestyle in you. And for that reason of this little reminder on the back, this is definitely one of my favorite magnets. And I will also say, when we were on Poipu Beach, we got to actually see a whole bunch of sea turtles that were actually resting on the beach. At some points, there was like 2 to 4 turtles on the beach, upwards of 50 at night when they were like sleeping, which was such a cool experience. And if you know me, I actually am a huge fan of turtles in general. And to swim with sea turtles is one of my biggest dreams. And I actually got to do that out there. The 2 little sea turtles, I think, is a perfect thing to remind us of our trip. All right, and moving on, we always like to pick up some Christmas ornaments from where we go because we like to decorate our Christmas tree. Same kind of deal with our fridge, where it's just nice to have little mementos from experiences that we've shared. And so this was one of the ornaments that we picked out together, which is this hand-painted glass ornament. And on there's some sea turtles.
And we did a whole bunch of snorkeling out there. This is Hawaii's actual state fish. And this angelfish, which is like Gil from Finding Nemo, is one of my favorite fish that I saw out there.
And on top of that, it's hand-painted, so it's got that really artsy kind of look, and it's real glass. So we thought this would be a perfect addition for our Christmas tree. And thankfully it came in this little box, so it was a little easier to get home unbroken. All right, and moving on to another ornament we picked up. We picked up this chicken made out of wood.
So out there on the island of Kauai, there are chicken everywhere.
And it's actually really cool. But the only thing is that they do wake you up in the morning. So we found out that in Kauai, they're the only island out there that don't have mongoose. Mongoose were introduced to the other islands to try to take out some of their rats. But apparently they didn't really do too much research besides just putting a mongoose and a rat in a cage to see who won. But when they let the mongoose out in their populations, they actually didn't go after the rats. They went after all the bird eggs. So on all the other islands, they actually have mongoose that are attacking their bird population. But Kauai, they have none of that. So their bird population is flourishing. And there's chickens all over the place. They also have like redhead cardinals that are flying all around and a whole bunch of other tropical birds. All right, and moving on to some more history, we actually saw some hula dancers out there. And check these things out. Aren't these pretty cool? They're called poi balls. They're used as accessories for when they're dancing. They do a lot of like twirling of these poi balls in sync with each other too, which is impressive. And then I actually saw they do this like clacker motion where they take these and, you know, clackers from back in the day where you'd break your wrist from trying to do it. Well, these are made out of paper, it feels like, inside, and like plastic bag, and then braided twine. And so the hula dancer school that was promoting themselves, they were selling these. So I had to pick up just because I thought this was really unique and cool. And I also wanted to support the hula dancing school. So this was definitely a unique find. And also my wife picked up an actual lei from the school as well.
If you look here, it's actually braided palms of some sort. They separate here and then they'll plug in live flowers. And they said that this is actually reusable. So you pull out the dead flowers and then you put in a new one or fake ones, and then you can actually wear it again.
And it was funny. I saw out there like these braided lines all in people's like dash hanging on their mirrors. I'm like, what the heck are those? And at one point I saw one wrapped around on a boat. And then we finally see that it was actually leis that were all over the island. All right, and moving on to some apparel that we picked up out there. I'm actually wearing a hat that I picked up. This green water resilient hat in Hanalei Bay. I like to rock it backwards, but this is like waterproof material, which I thought was cool. And I'm rocking a Kauai shirt with this turtle. And there's actually the turtle art on the back as well. I couldn't leave that behind, especially because I swam with turtles out there. And then I'm also rocking the Maui hook. So this is part of their culture out there to rock these hooks made out of like buffalo bone and different hard woods that they grow out there. And so this is one of them. And I also picked up a black version made out of buffalo bone as well. And so I rock necklaces sometimes, especially when you're out on the island. I wanted to, represent some of the culture. So I was rocking this guy for most of the time. And then I picked this up near the end.
And I actually picked this one up as my first one. It's made out of the woods that they grow out there.
But when I found these, I rocked these the rest of the time because I thought these were way cooler and they're way more authentic. All right, and so I had to pick up a hula dancer when I was out there. And actually the Airbnb that we stayed in, the host had this exact one in the room, and I thought it was adorable.
This little like cartoonized hula dancer, and it's solar powered. So, when you put this on a windowsill and the sun's hitting, she actually dances.
So I thought that was a fun addition. And moving on to a plush. If you know me, you know that I love plush. I grew up with my mom, who was a seamstress for the toy industry. So I had all types of plush, and I still do have all types of plush in my collection. And I've always loved these little sea turtles, but they had them out there embroidered with Hawaii. So I couldn't leave this behind.
And I really like the colors of this guy. It's actually my brand colors, the blue and green. And I love these cute glass eyes. Actually, this guy's got some protection on there. But now that we're home with them, let's give that a peel. There we go. Look how cool those are. Get the next one, and here he is. So I thought this was a cool little plush to add to my collection.
And so moving on to the next hat that I picked up this Callaway golf hat from
the Mackay Princeville Golf Course.
It's got the Hawaii Islands embroidered on the brim. Plus it's got the hand symbol with the Callaway logo in the middle and the embroidered Callaway on the back. So this is what it looks like backwards and forward. And I am a golfer. I grew up playing golf, and my wife was kind enough to actually book us a surprise day of golf out there. And we played one of the best golf courses in the world. Apparently it was like number 5 at one point. And man, were the views beautiful. You got to play along the ocean. We saw Queen's Bath, which is like this lava rock side, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's like a big like bath area where the waves kind of crash in. So we walked down there afterwards and we got to dip in there. Really cool experience. I also picked up a few gifts for my mom and dad, really because when I saw these shirts, I thought of them. First one is for my dad. It's got the alien and the chicken, and this actually glows in the dark under like UV light. Under the UV light, it's actually glowing. And so me and my dad love like the whole alien conspiracy. So when I saw this, I was like, I got to pick that up for him. And moving on to the next shirt, we actually picked this up for my mom. When we saw this in the window, we instantly thought of her. She actually named me after Christopher Robin from Winnie the Pooh. Some of her favorite characters are Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. So Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, and the rooster we just thought was way too cute. And it's got the Ohana means family from Lilo and Stitch. So it just brought it all home. I definitely think she'll like that. And moving on to the next shirt. This one is for myself. This is a Sasquatch surfing. I love cryptids in general. And Bigfoot is probably my number one favorite cryptid. So Sasquatch on the surfboard ripping it. Let's just say I will definitely be rocking this shirt a lot. And moving on to the last shirt, I picked this shirt up from Puka Dog. So it's this Hawaiian hot dog spot in Poipu Beach. And check out the back. It's got the emblem as well. And honestly, I think it was the best hot dog I ever had. They make these unique hot dogs where you can actually get either veggie or sausage, they call it. They take a hot dog roll, add a sweet and a spicy sauce into the center. So I picked pineapple and I think the spice was mild, but then my wife, she did mango with more of a jalapeno one, and both of them are really good. Next time, if I ever get back there again, I would definitely do a spicier one because the sweet actually cuts it really nice. But really cool. They were on like Food Network type shows. I think it was Anthony Bourdain, but really cool place. I would definitely recommend it if you're ever in Kauai to go to Puka Dog. And actually right next door to Puka Dogs, there was another restaurant and they had a gift shop. And in that gift shop, I picked up this sea turtle raku. So this was at Poipu Beach where the sea turtles were. And so when I saw this and that magnet, it was an instant buy for me.
But check out how cool this raku turtle is. You can see all the different colors in there. I actually used to do some raku myself. I actually am trying to get back into doing some ceramics. I have a smaller kiln and a big kiln that's not working,
but I'm trying to get that larger kiln working so that I could actually get back into doing some ceramics. And I would love to share some content about that in the near future. This was just a nice little memento that I picked up to remember Poipu Beach and all those sea turtles that we saw out there. All right, and moving on to when I visited Hanapepe, which is the town that Lilo and Stitch was based on. And so when we visited, we actually came upon two different murals of Lilo and Stitch while we were out there. And the first one was on the shop Island Stickers and More. So first, I'd like to show you, I picked up this cute but weird magnet for my truck. I thought this was really cool. And then I also picked up this adorable little Stitch keychain. I had to get some type of Stitch
from this shop. How cute is a Stitch, especially with the little like Hawaiian flowers in the head?
We actually visited Hanapepe on a Friday night. They have this cool arts and craft fair every Friday night. And they have vendors and food and juices and all types of fun vibes out there. And there's like a little strip there with shops so you can walk in and out of the shops. And what an experience. If you ever go to Kauai, I highly recommend you go visit Hanapepe. It's such a cool little quaint town, especially on a Friday night with the little arts and crafts fair. Very cool. Okay, now moving on to some stickers. I love stickers. I add stickers to my water bottles, my laptop, all my electronics. And so anytime I go visit somewhere, I pick up stickers. So let's go through some of them.
So this first one is Kapu Ranch Adventures. We actually did an ATVing trip, which was awesome. If you're ever out there, I highly recommend you do it. You get to see these mountains that were in so many different movies, from Indiana Jones to Jurassic Park to the mountains that they watercolor painted and used in the background of Lilo and Stitch. And also the movie 6 Days, 7 Nights. So very cool. I already added this to my water bottle because this is a place that I'll never forget. Moving on, we got this rooster carrying a surfboard and biking. Biking is a big thing out there, along with surf culture and these chickens. So this kind of summed it all up in one sticker. Then we got some stickers from Hanalei Bay. I picked up these two stickers as well from there. And I love this little chicken. I'm going to add this one to my water bottle. This cool little fish riding a seahorse. Very neo-traditional tattoo looking. As you can see, I have more of those Kapu Ranch. They gave us a bunch of them when we left. I got these two stickers from Puka Dog. Couldn't decide on which one, so I picked up both. And lastly, I got this awesome Surfer Doodle Dude. Another chicken sticker that I couldn't leave behind.
And so another gift that I picked up out there was this children's book.
Baby Honu's Incredible Journey. This book is about the turtle's journey from being hatched, growing, to then its adventure into the sea and to trying to get past all the different hurdles of life. And I just love this watercolor art, and it just matched the vibe of seeing the sea turtles out there. So I had to pick this up. And so I was going to gift this to my nieces and nephews.
So yeah, that sums up everything that we picked up on our honeymoon to Kauai. Let me know in the comments below which one you think was the best pickup. As always, thanks for watching. Remember to live your lives in the Aloha lifestyle, and remember to create and collect what you love.